Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The DK Effect. A real-life diary of a madman.
It's time for the DK Effect. Oh, 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 come on. Oh, 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 come on. Oh, 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 oh. It's time for the DK Effect. Oh, 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 come on. Oh, oh, oh.
Well, top of the day, everybody. My name is DK. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there today. Brand new show for you. I don't have a lot of news on my front to really share with you. Trying a few new exercises I've found out. Oh, I got in and out of the hot tub by myself. Again, for a normal person, probably not too big a deal, but for good old DK, it was tough. I mean, you're stepping and lifting that leg up pretty high over the rail or over the wall, whatever you want to call it, and then you're stepping on a wet seat, which was a little bit slippery, means I got to clean it. Anyway, I made it in, I made it out. Man, did it feel good. It wasn't really a bath, but I said to everybody, it was like taking my first bath again because I shower all the time. It's probably do most people. Hot tubs are great. So glad to be back in it.
Hey, DKA, you have a listener question?
Yes, I know we have a question this week. I was going to get to that if you would have given me a second. Actually, I have a few more questions coming in, so we may answer yours right here on the show. So keep sending them in. Today we're diving into a question from Star Ann. Don't know where Star Ann's from, but cool name. And it's regarding EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and tapping. Now, like many of you, I'll be honest, I was not familiar with this technique. So before I came on air and proceeded to answer, you know what I did? That's right. I researched it. So keep in mind, I'm an NLP coach, practitioner, and I deal with the mechanics of the mind in my theories. After looking into the structure of EFT, I want to talk about why I sometimes argue these methods don't actually work the way people claim they do. I'm not here to tell you that you didn't feel better after tapping on your collarbone or your nose. I'm here to talk about the why behind it and the why these tools can be a bit of a distraction from actual neurological change, which is pretty much what we talk about on here. So I guess the first thing we got to get into is what is EFT? What is tapping? From the research that I got, EFT or tapping is a practice where you use your fingertips to stimulate specific what they call meridian points on the body while focusing on negative emotion or reciting informations. The theory is that you're clearing the short circuits in your body's bioenergy system. And I'm familiar with meridian points from going into a little bit of yoga and Tai Chi. Sometimes they refer to it. But anyway, in the coaching world, it's marketed as a universal solvent. Got a phobia? Tap it out. Want to make more money? Tap it in. It's accessible. It's easy. But I look at the structure of what's happening, not just the ritual. We have to ask, is the magic in the tapping, or is there a simpler mechanical explanation for the shift in behavior or state, I guess? So the problem with easy tools is that they create a false sense of security. People, they'll attend a weekend seminar They'll learn to tap on their forehead or their chest or their ear, and suddenly they feel equipped to perform what they think is a deep psychological surgery. They see a minor shift in their emotional state and conclude that they've been healed of a deep-seated trauma. Because the tool is so simple, it's easy to overlook the vast complexity of how the brain actually encodes patterns. We start to mistake a temporary change in feeling for a permanent change in our neurological software. It creates a loop where we keep chasing the ritual because we don't yet understand the underlying process that actually drives long-term behavior and belief. I'm not picking on this by any means, but Starran, this is why I say it doesn't work. It's a pattern interrupt. It's not a cure. In NLP, we use pattern interrupts as well, and it's kind of odd because we're going to kind of flow into that when we get into reframing in my next segment. You know, if you're crying and I suddenly throw a bucket of cold water on you, you'll stop crying. Did the water heal your sadness? No, it just broke the state. Tapping is a physical pattern interrupt. It distracts the nervous system, but it rarely recodes the actual strategy your brain is using to create that stress in the first place. So, the placebo of ritual, you might call this. The brain loves ritual. Absolutely loves it. If you believe tapping on your chin will fix your anxiety, your brain will release a bit of dopamine just because you're doing something. This is a temporary relief of symptoms. It's not a resolution of the cause, which is what we try to do. Now, like I told you, I've had some information on meridians, but here's why it might just be a myth for you and for me. Because science has yet to find these energy meridians. When you tap, you're just stimulating sensory nerves. You could achieve the same effect by humming, doing jumping jack, focusing on your breath. To credit the meridians is like crediting a magic wand for a card trick. It's the focus and the breathing doing the heavy lifting. There's still a snake in the garden. And this, Starran, is snake oil. In my opinion, I encourage you. My goal as a coach isn't to give you a security blanket. It's to give you the keys to the engine. If you want to tap because it feels nice, go for it. But don't confuse a temporary state shift with deep, generative change. Don't convince yourself you've mastered your mind just because you've learned a rhythm. All right, closing, Starran, thanks for the question. And to everyone else, stay skeptical, stay curious, and keep looking under the hood. I do too. Some stuff I keep, some stuff I toss away. Now it's time for our final segment with Penelope Jane. Enjoy.
Now it's time for our final segment with Penelope Jane. How does Penelope restart her newfound business? What other advice does she have for DK and the listeners? As always, Penelope brings her upbeat attitude and a fun way of telling a story. So sit back and enjoy.
No, I mean, you do, because your mind just wants to go. And what I'm learning now is go on the journey, follow your mind. You know,
right, I've got you, but that will only get you so far. Because if you follow your thoughts, they are going to be... I think you can follow your thoughts once you've got control over the fact that you're not noticing them, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
So you have your thoughts, but then you need to be... The brain needs to be still at some point. Because then I think the thoughts that come through will be more profound. That's what I feel. So if I was to ask you, the thoughts that you have, are they thoughts that you have, you know, you'd imagine you would have those thoughts. They're fairly common to you.
Yeah, my thoughts are mainly of what I want to accomplish and what I want to do. And
Right.
My mind just goes a million miles a minute.
So in meditation, what I'd want to get you into is a place where you're now getting the answers to those thoughts that you're having.
Right. And I'm not there yet. I'm aware of that, but I'm not quite there yet.
No, but that would be a nice place to be, wouldn't it? That's what I love to do. So I'll lie in my bed just before I go to sleep, and I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. So I just ask myself, I take myself to my safe sanctuary. It's a place that I've created so that no one can go. I speak to my wise monkey. Okay. And ask him a question, and then I'm like, sometimes the answer doesn't come, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just leave it, and then all of a sudden I've got an answer, and I know it's an answer because it's not something I would have thought of.
And I'm working on that. I'm with you 100%.
Yes, so I look forward to hearing when you're there, because I have no doubt you are going to get some very profound things coming to you.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean to rush you, but I run a kind of a really short show, so I'm going to air this over several weeks. But whatever you got to get in, you got about 5 minutes. Is that okay?
Oh.
I'll edit out all
this. Fine.
I'll edit out my stuff.
Bless you, my love. Sorry. So the energy centers, we've got the roots, you've got the sacral, you've got the power, you've got the heart, you've got your throat, you've got your third eye, and then you've got your crown. I perceive them with different colors as the chakra system, but I have kind of like very similar frequency sounds that roll with them. And I have movement that I use to be able to just enhance the whole energy kind of within us. So my belief is that if we have a cohesive field, then we can work a lot better. We'll be able to hold pressure a lot. And if we can hold pressure a lot more as business owners, entrepreneurs, it means that we're able to make and have bolder decisions, like making an investment, having a client and all that kind of stuff. So my yoga journey has literally taken me to this place where I am now at a point of helping clients with their self-led leadership. And that's where I'll leave it. I don't have a website, but I am on Facebook as Penelope Jane, and I am at the very throes of offering a beta program for my magnetic course. So that may be of interest to any listeners of you if they do happen to listen to this. Oh, bless you, darling.
I just one quick question.
Yes.
When you're talking about the frequency, because again, this is something I'm just kind of researching, not really there yet, but they say pink noise is good for relaxing, and there's brown noise, and there's white. So is that what you're talking, frequency, or?
No, I don't know them, to be honest with you. I mean, that's not something I go down. I simply go with frequency hertz.
Okay.
So 963 is like the divine frequency. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, and and you have that. Yeah, and so different energy centers have different frequencies, and depending on which one you want, the music will play. Yeah, differently. I've not heard of the noises you're talking about, so I can't comment on that.
So 963, and it's like a KH, you said, or a KM?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd have to actually look. Oh God, honestly, you've got me on that one.
Well, that's why we take notes. I'd love to hear the frequencies, because I'll definitely follow up.
You'll probably end up falling asleep. Oh my God, you know what I wanted to say? You might want to edit this out because there's nothing to talk. But you said you were listening to Joe Dispenza, and you were in a meditation, and all of a sudden he says something, and you were like, what?
Oh, but you got to Google him. Because at that point, I wasn't doing guided meditation. I was just doing it myself, read, and then I try it. Well, he's got me almost out of body.
Oh, no, he's fabulous. I've got all his books.
But that voice he uses scared me when I came back.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes, I don't know, I mean, I hope it was him. A lot of people have been copying his stuff.
Oh, okay. My one buddy, if you listen to that episode, the guy that called me and spilled his whole life, even though we've been great friends for 20 years, telling me things I didn't know, but he's like, Joey Dispenza is the man. If you're going to meditate,
But there's so many people out there who have copied him. So you could go on Spotify and look up Joe Dispenza, find him, listen to something, and it wouldn't be him.
So maybe it wasn't, because he has a real nice voice when he's talking.
He does. When you said that to me, I thought to myself, that doesn't sound like a professional Joe Dispenza. If I'm honest with you, it sounded like someone who'd copied him, because when I did that, the same thing happened to me. And I went, what? Yeah. Well, my God, you're so good. I'm literally like, I don't research anything. I just let things come through me.
Okay. Listen, so you're doing well now. You might have a program you're going to offer soon, you said, or?
Yeah, so I'm offering, because I've literally kind of it's the beginning of my business, right, Ken? So I'm offering the course at kind of a better beta rate, we say in the UK. It just means that you get all the 110% of me being there, but you just get it at like a cheaper investment, because, you give me some feedback, and you're helping me on my journey as well. So it's a self-led leadership course. Okay, it's for people who don't want to double guess, don't want overwhelmment, are looking for something that, that will take them to the next level with their business without having to pile on more strategy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's that kind of vibe.
Share that with me when you get closer. I'll not only promote it, but I'll probably dive in myself. It's just I have so much time on my hands, and I just want to learn everything.
My God, I love you.
See,
You're
I'm in
fabulous.
Now where I'm training. I'll probably edit this out because I've said it on the show. But where I'm training right now is I'm training neuro-linguistic programming.
Right. Okay.
NLP.
Yes.
Tony Robbins is probably the king of the hill. But I'm taking a certification course, and I'm going to be certified as a NLP life coach at the end. If I go with it, my little monkey's going to tell me, as you'd say. I love it. I got some dude in a cloak that's there with me. I think I prefer a monkey.
Yeah, so it's the monkey in The Lion King. That's my guide when I think of,
gotcha. Yeah.
It's Wakiki, no?
Yeah,
Wakiki.
I can't remember his name.
Neither can I.
My son's 22 now, so it's been a long time since that and Narnia.
Oh, your kids are a little bit older than mine. Oh,
I just have one boy. He's more than enough.
Oh, Ken, it's been fabulous chatting with you.
Oh, listen, this is going to be great.
You're so welcome. It's one of my things. I just love to give it. I love to. My thing is, I try not to coach. You don't want to tell people stuff if they don't want to listen. But I got the impression you seem to love to learn.
Yeah. Oh, I do.
Stuff.
And I think a lot of the people listening, and it's still new, so it's growing. But I think they're at ground zero as well.
Stay tuned next week when we start a new 3-part series. We interview Sandra Honganen. Sandra shares her struggles with us as she moves to Canada from Estonia. She tells us about her dreams as a young girl and the troubles she faced along the way. A new country, losing her job, and facing being deported. How does Sandra's story end? Tune in next week to find out.
Everything the DK Effect all in one place. www.thedkeffect.ca. All our social media links. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. A library of articles that go into detail on subjects covered on the show. And other articles including mental health, personal growth, fitness, and success stories. An easy way to contact us with questions or if you want to share your story on the show. Yep. All of that in one place to assist you on your life journey. It all starts with taking the first step at www.thedkeffect.ca.
Back over to you, Ditka. 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 Back over to you, Ditka.
Okay, last week I promised to dive into reframing when we were talking about positive thinking. I see this as one of the most immediate pattern interrupts. And I guess by doing this portion, this segment, I'm going to tell you that pattern interrupts, like your EFT earlier, are not necessarily bad. They're just they're not the end. I see this as one of the most immediate pattern interrupts we have. It's the art of changing the meaning of a situation to change the state it puts you in. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give it. Write that down. Nothing in life has any meaning except the meaning you give it. If you change the frame of the picture, the feeling of the picture changes instantly. So here's a quick step-by-step of how it works. Reframing isn't about pretending a problem doesn't exist. It's about shifting your focus from a disabling frame to an enabling one. Here's how you can break it down. Let's use anxiety as our example this week. A lot of people complain about anxiety. You got to identify the current label. So you notice the feeling and the word you are using to describe it. Most people feel a psychological surge and they immediately label it like I'm feeling anxious. This label creates what we call a mental box, and that limits your options. So immediately we're going to interrupt the pattern. Before the anxiety takes hold, you got to break the loop. This can be a physical movement, sharp question. Is this feeling actually hurting me, or is it just energy? Find a new label. The content reframe is the official term. Look at the physical sensations of anxiety, a racing heart, sweaty palms, heightened alertness. Now ask yourself, what else could these exact same sensations mean? Okay, that's when we get into the reframe. Anxiety can sometimes be referred to as excitement without the breath. You're panicking. You're not breathing. By changing the label to something just like intense anticipation or preparation for peak performance, you change how your brain processes the adrenaline. Step 4 is you change the questions. Our brain is a search engine. If you ask, why am I so nervous? It will find a dozen reasons why you might fail. Instead, ask, how can I use this energy to be more sharp? What is great about this challenge? And then step 5, you're going to anchor the new state. So once you've reframed the feeling, example from fear to fuel, you take a deep breath and move your body. Stand tall, shoulders back, and own the new meaning. So many of the things we talk about, folks, overlap. And go back, like that's one of the things about NLP is all this stuff kind of overlaps. It's all part of everything else. Let me give you an example of reframing. Let's reframe, stick to our theme, anxiety into excitement. My heart is pounding because I'm scared. My heart is pounding to pump oxygen to my brain so I can think faster. I have butterflies because I'm not ready. The butterflies mean I'm at the edge of my comfort zone. And what happens there, folks? That's where growth happens. I feel shaky and weak. My body is priming itself with adrenaline for a high-stakes moment. So here's the perspective. Remember, you are the director of your own mental movie. If you don't like the scene, you don't just sit in the theater and complain. You head to the editing room and you change the frame. By shifting the meaning of those internal jitters from a threat to a resource, you move from being a victim of your biology to a master of your psychology. All right. That's the short and the simple of it. Now listen up, folks. As always, most of this content, full articles are placed on the webpage, thedkeffect.ca, if you want to research, if you want to learn more. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. All right. Once again, I'd like to say thank you to Penelope Jane. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Great lady. Remember, you can add her on Facebook if you want. She posts all kinds of videos, and it's not just meditation. She's got thoughts on a lot of things, if you haven't noticed. Next week, we got Sandra, I think, another great 3-part series, so you'll want to tune in for that. As always, everybody, keep chasing those goals. Don't give up. Take action. Take action on something today. That's the core of everything. Be kind to someone. Most of all, be kind to yourself. Until next time, I'm DK.
Never, never, never look back. Keep going and don't give up. Never, never, never look back. Keep going and don't give up. Never, never, never look back. Never, never, never look back.
Free audio post-production by powerfull.com.